Adam Ronin here with another Ronin review. Adam Ronin here with another Ronin review, this time on Crash Bandicoot Sane Trilogy for the PlayStation 4. Now, I want to start this off by saying that I am a huge fan and a big advocate of breathing new life and giving like a fresh coat of paint on older titles for a newer generation. Which brings us kind of back to like when Gordy and I were kids and we first got Super Mario Bros. All-Stars, which is what Bandicoot Sane Trilogy reminds me of. Because when we got Super Mario Bros. All-Stars, it was like, took our favorite 3 games at the time almost, bundled with Super Mario World, and gave us a fresh new look on them with new graphics and same gameplay, and it just like reinvigorated us for the series. We were like, oh my god, this is why Mario's great, and it looks sweet, and you know, we've been looking for it ever since for every other system. You know, we wanted it for the Wii, we wanted it for the Wii U, and now we want it for the Switch, but like new, you know? So a couple years ago at E3, when Crash Sane Trilogy was first announced, like when he walked out on stage and they started playing like the Crash music, we were like, because we wanted a new Crash game so much, and we were first met with like a brief wave of disappointment when they were like, we're doing the first 3 games remade, and we were like, oh, because we wanted like a new game, and we're just like, kicking dirt and stuff. But then we were like, you know what? Actually, no, this is really cool because a fresh new take on the Crash Bandicoot trilogy could invoke those feelings that we first had with the Super Mario Bros. All-Stars. And, you know, now finally the game is released on PlayStation 4. So let's dig in. First thing I want to talk about is surface value here. The game is downright gorgeous. There's no surprise here that when comparing it next to its 21-year-old counterpart, the visuals shine in new and exciting ways. The new lighting effects create a vibrance that just was not possible back in 1996. New fur texturing on Crash himself makes it more realistic than ever, and its cartoonish stylings really gel into a great aesthetic here. But Crash has never been an ugly game by any means. Original developers Naughty Dog make hands down some of the most gorgeous titles ever released, and I really feel like Vicarious Visions have respectfully taken what Naughty Dog started and improved on it tenfold. Remastered soundtracks glisten in the background, completely rebuilt cutscenes add a new dash of personality into the mix. It's really a thing of beauty when you break it down. I couldn't speak more highly on how I feel on the visuals. But, as we've talked before, visuals are only a small battle in a much larger war. Are they not? But how does this baby play? How does it feel? Well, it's a peculiar situation here. Now, when we were kids, we played the absolute snot out of the original Crash. We dabbled in Crash 2 some, and honestly, I never even got around to playing Warped when I was younger, so my first time with that title was when we popped in the Insane Trilogy. So in regards to Crash 2 and 3, I think the game controls butter smooth. It's classic platforming at its finest, and I really think Vicarious Visions nailed the feel. The jump timings are fantastic, the movement has the right amount of airiness that I remember Crash for, and it's just nice. It's good. It's fucking sweet. That's where I want to stop for a moment and take a look at the first title, or as we're calling it here, Dark Souls 4 Crash Bandicoot Go F*** Yourself. I don't know if somehow in the last 20 years my ability to game has just decided to eat the biggest bag of dicks it could find, or if Crash Bandicoot was always this hard. I'm talking screaming at the TV, breaking a controller, and punching a newborn baby type of hard. We were stuck on the final level of the first island for what felt like days on end. We cried. We wept with the frustrated sadness we haven't felt since I booted up Neo. The timings in the first Crash are just off. There's no hiding that. People have even tested this side by side to show where the differences are, and it is very noticeable. And with that slight change, it really irks the first game for me. Sure, playstyles can be adapted, and sure, maybe I'm just a bitch, but with Crash 2, and I'm guessing 3, being so beautifully smooth compared to the old ones, I am just curious as to what the reasoning was behind Vicarious Visions' decision to alter the jump timings in the first game. Doesn't ruin the experience per se, it sure will test your will as a human being to endure it. There isn't much to speak of in terms of online functionality as it's strictly a single player game, but I do feel like with 3 full titles and an option to go back to each level and complete time trials, this game has plenty to do and a significant amount of replay value, especially if you're getting those awesome gems and you're a completionist and that's your type of playstyle. I really want to tip my proverbial hat to the developers here. The game is fundamentally solid, minus a couple of long load times, and glitches were almost never to be seen in our playtime.
This retails right now at $39.99. So, is it worth your money?
Yes! 1,000 times yes. It's great to see this title priced further down than the regular $59.99. So this retails at $39.99, but you know, they could have priced this at the regular $60 and I still would have paid it and bought it because it is what it is, but you know, no need on account of the $40. I think this is a perfect rebirth to our favorite Bandicoot. While a brand new game would have been super welcome, this was a great and nostalgic way to test the waters for such a game. And with the way that this puppy is selling, I bet my left nut, not the right one because I use that one frequently, but the left one, it's just inconsequential. But I bet the left nut that we will see a brand new Crash announced at E3 2018. And I'm good at predicting those things, so mark my words, you'll see it. E3 2018, you'll come back to this video and be like, oh my god, Adam Ronin, he knew! Oh! Alright, so let's get down to the scoring system. What does this get from Ronin 24? Well, based on the back-end scoring that we're working off of, Crash Bandicoot, the Insane Trilogy, nets an 8.3 out of 10. I was really initially miffed with the way that the first initial Crash Bandicoot title plays and how just off it felt, but the other two titles, Crash 2 and 3 Warped, really more than made up for the feeling. I just hope that this starts a whole new trend with things, because I know everyone's like, reboots and stuff, but I really like the idea of getting title bundles where you have like just a group of titles that came out, like let's say Mario for example, and they all have a fresh new coat of paint for a new generation. It's such a cool way for younger gamers to experience stuff they never have, and for us to revisit titles we haven't maybe played in like 20 plus years. I'm just imagine like 2018 we get Mario Brothers All-Stars with all the Mario games, 1, 2, 3 World and Super Mario 64, all looking as gorgeous as this Crash remake did. You and I, we'd be like, oh man, we'd like look at each other and we'd be like, oh my god, are we gonna play this? And we'd be like, yes, we're gonna play this, but we won't be able to find it because it's Nintendo and they would shortage everything and we would be like, nah, we'd start killing everybody. It'd be a thing. Follow me on Twitter, it's right there. And let's discuss the violence that Nintendo brings and shift gears completely off Crash, completely just derail the end of the video like a bunch of f***ing suckers.
Free money, Nintendo!
That's my voice. Sounded further away, but I have that ability to do things where I just immediately sound like I'm across the room, like I'm about to say this.
Chicken!
Weird. Or maybe even this.
Bobsled teams!
I know, crazy amounts of talent. Why are we so small as a channel? I don't know.